All right, let me kick off by reading the remote meeting script and we'll go from there. Uh, pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, this meeting will be conducted via remote means in accordance with applicable law. This means that members of the public body, as well as members of the public, may access this meeting via virtual means. Participants may access this meeting through the remote meeting link as posted on the meeting agenda and through the town's online calendar. When required by law, or allowed by the chair. Persons wishing to provide public comment or otherwise participate in the meeting may do so by raising their hand or otherwise signaling their intent to speak. This meeting will be recorded. Please take care to mute your microphone unless you have been recognized by the chair. We will now confirm attendance of members. Please respond with present if you're on the call. Elise Mayalowski. Lucia Lopez.
Present.
Matthew Ronca.
Present.
Michael King.
Present.
Parker Happ.
Present.
Amna Dewan. Peter Mimo.
Present.
Vikasath Prati.
Present.
And Rob Benson is here. And town staff, Aniri Patel.
Present.
And Lori St. John.
She's not on the call.
Okay. All right. What's Aniri, do we have any feedback for the minutes for December 15th or January 5th?
Yes, I received comments from Matthew on both the minutes and Lucia's comments on January 5th. It's a minor comment, so we already changed on January 5th and just need to modify December 15 meeting. I mean minutes, but we received the comments if both is okay to approve.
So okay, so the really the request modifications are minor that as they're in our folders, you feel like we can move forward and approve?
Yep.
All right. Does anyone have any other comments or questions about the meeting minutes? All right, with hearing nothing, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes for December 15th, 2025 and January 5th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, thank you. Roll call vote. Lucia Lopez.
Yes.
Matthew Ronca.
Yes.
Michael King.
Yes.
Parker Happ.
Yes.
Peter Mimo.
Yes.
Vikasath Prati.
Yes.
And Rob Benson is yes. All right. Highland Park 4, request for performance guarantee reduction. Aniri, do you want to give us an overview of what the request is, or is a representative from Highland Park 4 on?
I'm not sure he's on a call or not. Let me see. No, he's not on a call, so I will just brief out. We received requests from Mr. Kane to reduce the performance guarantee, and eventually back in June or July, they reached out to us. At that time, planning board reduced the bond, and currently the bond amount is somewhere around 175,800, and currently he's requested to reduce it by $78,000. Our peer review engineer Bay Associate reviewed that proposal and recommended the change on performance guarantee, and applicant is in agreement with Luckner's comment on that. So the new amount for board to authorize the reduction of $73,800, and the remaining bond amount gonna be $102K.
102,000 even?
Mhm.
All right.
Yep.
Does anyone have any comments or questions? I'm oh, never mind. Sorry. All right, I'd like to entertain a motion to reduce the bond amount from Highland Park 4 from its current value of 175,800 to $102,000.
So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Parker Hab,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Vika South Prati,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. All right, Legacy Farm North Villages request for performance guarantee release by Pulte Homes. Aniri, I don't know if you is the applicant on, or do you want to give us any overview on this?
I don't
mean,
think so. Again, applicant is on a call for this matter. The only thing I'm aware is the Legacy Farm North project. They are done. The construction phase is done, and they specifying all the plan for condition which board approved back during site plan approval, basically, and now they are asking to release the bond, which they submitted back in 2016. Yeah. Let me check.
all right.
So,
So I think from my point of
So-
view, Chris, go ahead. You're gonna say
sorry.
something?
No, I think I'm just making yep, the original bond from 2016.
And maybe people I'm trying to refresh my memory here, but Pulte Homes, we've had Vin Gately, and he's from Pulte Homes, correct? Before us many times.
No,
So
I
the-
think. Sorry to interrupt, but I
Go
think
ahead.
he's not for this Legacy Farm North. So Win is let me check. He's for different side of the Legacy Farm.
Does anyone know off the top of their head? I didn't know if it was I wasn't sure.
So
I don't believe they're the same entity. It's just
Yeah,
not
it's
a
not.
simple Google search.
yeah, so Win they are from different entity. They are from the Trail LLC, and this is under the Haltis
Haltis.
Home. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
and
Does-
also just to add, I think Amna just joined the meeting.
Okay. Great.
Hi, sorry guys, I'm late. Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay. It's been it's been quite a weather day today. All right, does anyone have any questions or comments?
I just have one question. How do we ascertain whether or not that the work has been completed in accordance with the specifications? How do we ascertain that? How do we confirm that?
I checked with the building commissioner, Chris, and he mentioned that all the work required, everything is all set, and we don't have the peer review engineer for this, so I cannot reach out to anyone for a third-party peer review. But based on my discussion with John and Chris, this project is already done, and they are just requesting release of the fund.
Yeah, I think for this, it's an area. It's fundamentally the building inspector basically says the work is done in accordance with the plan and correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that sounds like it's happened. All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to release the performance surety bond of $100,000 for Pulte Homes for Legacy Farms North Villages.
So moved.
Second,
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Amna. Roll call vote. Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Matthew Ronka,
Yes.
Parker Happ,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Vic South Prati,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes.
I think you skipped me, Rob. I'm a yes too.
Oh, Mike. Oh, sorry,
No worries.
Michael. Thank you. All right, MBTA communities discussion. Aniri, we had at our last meeting, we left you with a few questions and you're going to try to find out some information. What information were you able to gain, if any?
So let me share you the PDF presentation first.
Okay.
And also mention that I hear back from the state this afternoon, like few hours back, and they are okay with the geographically okay with the option E, which we sent. I emailed them asking if it's okay or not, and they requested a draft article, and I'm gonna arrange a separate meeting with them this week
Okay.
or next week probably. But I received the response from them, and they just recommend to ensuring the dimensional requirement that which it made as a one district. So since we're gonna reduce from 3 district to 2 district, so that's their recommendation, but they are okay with our option E proposal. Let me share my screen on the questions you asked me last time.
Sure.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So in the last meeting, board requested what if we do remove the parcels from the downtown district on the side and this one tiny parcel. So I did the calculation. If we remove these parcels, it's gonna change our unit capacity, and after removing them, it's gonna be somewhere around, it's gonna be 723 units. The minimum state requirement is 750 units. So removing this parcel, we not gonna meet another requirement if we're gonna meet the contingency, but then we're gonna have the issue with the unit capacity. So this is like a summary of this table of removing these parcels. One, the bottom ones, and one of this parcel. Then So this is the proposal I sent out to state, basically executive office of housing authority. And on this basis, they sent me an email and response. And this is the summary table. So as per this table, you can see the current acres gonna be 55.6 acres. The unit capacity is gonna be 782, and the UAC is gonna be 17.6. So this is the only change from what we approved and in the new proposal, and based upon our current option E, we are meeting the contingency requirement, as our biggest parcel is going to be 32.7 acres. And as per the contingency, we have to have 27.85 acres. So this is the current proposal with option E and the response we received from state. Board asked what if we remove this parcel. So I recommend, and even based upon the calculation, it's not feasible to remove any parcels from the south side of the downtown district. And
The south side is the CVS side, correct?
yes, any parcels from this big chunk.
Okay.
And if we even remove this tiny parcels here on the Cedar Street, I think it's 16 or 19 Cedar Street, this one tiny, it will decrease our unit by 20. So then it's gonna be 762 units if we just remove that one parcel. So, and even to summarize, the parcels we are adding on Walcott Street, they are not adding any new units, as they are tiny in the size and not even increasing our acreage. So the approved acreage, I mean the old proposal with 3 districts had 54.6 acres, and now with the adding parcel, it's around 55.6 acres. So it's just increasing few, I mean not even an acre basically, and the unit is gonna be same as it is. Only the difference gonna be in gross density and the contingency.
Okay. Let me ask a couple questions.
Mm-hmm.
There was, in my mind, there were some questions about the parcels connecting what I would call the section of land bordering the downtown intersection and the Walcott Valley. It seemed to me there was an extra parcel or maybe 2 parcels that I would say aren't required. Like if you
Let me pull. Yes, I remember that, and I just want to point out 2 things here. I think you are talking about these 2 parcels. The one.
yes,
So,
those 2 parcels, or maybe even, yes, I was of the mindset like, what could we do to? So any of those parcels there that make the actual connection are not in the downtown district as it is. So I was of the mindset to try to make them as few as possible.
So I just want to add 2 points. Even if we add these 2 parcels here or not, it's not gonna change anything on our calculation. And just by adding this parcel, it's just like literally at the edge of Walcott Valley and downtown. So it's look like we just add a few parcels to make a one district. And even if we add those 2 parcels, if you do the zoning standard for these 2 parcels, so Walcott Valley needs to follow the downtown district standards like minimum lot size or minimum open space requirement. So even if this big parcel and these 2 parcels are in residential district, for the overlay, they need to follow the downtown overlay district standards with the minimum frontage or all that stuff. Because after combining two districts into one, we need to come up with one standards. We cannot do three standards, like one for preserve, one for downtown, and one for Walcott Valley. So we need to combine downtown and Walcott. And this downtown parcel cannot be work as a Walcott Valley standards. And that's one of the point which Nathan from state mentioned in the email, that we make sure that we are changing the standards. So,
But
Mhm.
to me, it doesn't seem like those parcels there are necessary. That's what I want to get to. Are like if they don't seem to me, they don't seem required to connect the downtown district to Walcott Valley. Like we can make that connection physically on the map without those additional parcels. So why wouldn't we?
I can, during my call with state, I can ask, is it okay if we just add one parcel and do the connection, or if we need to keep those two parcels to make it look like? And I will let board know. But as you said, it will not make any major difference if we add or remove those. I mean, add those parcel or
I think it's going to be,
remove.
from my point of view, it's going to be perception at town meeting. And I think there's a general just like I think the town feels we need to comply with the state regulations, but I feel like from what I've experienced at the last two town meetings regarding this topic, they don't want to go above and beyond the minimum that's required by the state, is what the sentiment I felt. All right.
Through the
Open
chair.
it. Yeah, go ahead, Parker.
We don't have enough time though to wait for the state's feedback. Is that correct, Anuri?
Well, I think tonight we're going to vote to put it on the town meeting warrant, and then like whether we include 4 parcels or 5 parcels there. If we, I think the map itself, I think we have time. But tonight, the next agenda item is to get it on the town warrant, which I think is, from my point of view, is a no-brainer, because we can always remove it if we wanted to in the future, before town meeting. But I think choosing the map itself, we have time. But
We have
Anir,
that
do you have any?
flexibility, so we can take stuff off before town meeting.
Until it's printed, yeah, you have to get it on the town meeting warrant by a certain date. But my experience is you can take stuff off the town meeting warrant almost right up to the meeting. But once they're printed, the printed material is printed, it's kind of there. But you can withdraw, I think, leading right up to town meeting. Go ahead, Aniri, or am I wrong?
No, you are right. Tonight, board needs to vote to add the article for the town meeting. I have deadline till this Friday. So basically February 1st is the deadline to submit the draft article and the map to select board or town manager office basically. If there is any changes, like minor changes, we can still do, as Rob mentioned, before the printing part. And minor changes are okay. We can remove the parcels, but we cannot add anything to the article after I submit that basically. And I will try to reach out to Nathan from state if I get him to meet me this week.
I think how we worded the
before.
articles in the past is we basically had the article language, so the language didn't need to change, and it referenced a map, and we could change the map if my memory serves myself correct. And we were tinkering with the map right up to the 11th hour last 2 times.
So just to add, like the only change gonna be on the map, and even on the draft article, we just need to remove the parcels if we are deciding, because we are not changing any other definition or any other section of the bylaw which we already approved, like which town already approved last year. So it's just gonna be, we are removing that Walcott Valley standard section and there are minor changes. So removing a couple of parcels, that's gonna be fine, that you can do.
Does anyone have questions about this for myself or Aniri? Maybe Aniri's better. All right. Go ahead, Lucia. I know you asked about the south side of downtown, but go before our last meeting, but go ahead.
Yeah, so it sounds like we can't remove that based on the numbers without getting below the 750, but it sounds like we could potentially remove that northern green, the parcel in green that I know Rob mentioned before is not in the downtown business district without going below the 750. So I think that would be an improvement in that sense, where I know part of the argument for the MBTA overlay was that we're not making it any more dense because downtown business is already, you're already allowed to build pretty densely. And so I think if we could remove that parcel and still meet the requirements, I think that would be a plus in terms of a change that we're bringing to town meeting. And then I think the outstanding question is, do we need those extra 1 or 2 parcels for it to be contiguous? But I think beyond that, the map, we're meeting the requirements, and it's what the state says we need to do. So I think we can go to town meeting and with those 2 questions answered and be able to respond to any questions that residents have.
I totally agree with you, Lucia. That would be my desired outcome, is those parcels along Walcott to meet the definition of a singular parcel, the minimum parcels needed to connect those, the Walcott Valley and downtown, and basically substitute those in exchange for the 1 parcel along Cedar Street that's not in the downtown business district, and basically remove that. That would be my, I think, preferred outcome. Anyone else on the board have any comments? I can't. I think if people raise their hand, I can see right away. But Aniri, do we need to vote tonight? What do you want us to do?
So board don't need to vote on this. Board needs to vote on submitting the articles. So such our agenda item 1.5.
All right, let's go to item 1.5, because we can always go back to this if there's something. Oh, Matthew, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question as we're moving to 1.5, is I don't see anything about 210-62. Were we planning on doing anything about the payment of lieu, or are we not trying to do that?
We are not doing that at the moment. Sorry, Matthew, which thing you are mentioning?
Chapter 210, section 62, we had talked about getting payment in lieu changed this year.
Okay, yes, no, I'm not aware of that. And I don't have...
is that something that came out of zoning advisory committee, Matthew?
It's something that we've talked about, and hopefully we'll get back to before town meeting, but it was something that we've talked about in the past as wanting to have changed. And it's something that Lucy had mentioned back, I think, on the December 15th, that I don't think we circled back on.
So for that, Ted, the ZAC chair, reached out to me, and we're going to discuss in the next ZAC meeting, but that will not make it to this year's town meeting.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
Okay. I don't know if it was close enough that we'd want something as a placeholder on the warrant, if we thought we'd be able to wrap it up in the next meeting or so.
Matthew, could you give us a little refresh? Could you refresh everybody's I think you're talking about affordable housing and a payment in lieu, but what's the specifics?
So 210 fees in lieu, 210-62 fees in lieu of affordable housing unit provision. So this was something that we've lamented quite a bit in the past, and we changed it to not be I believe we changed it to be not by right, that the board had to authorize it. But the main issue is that the payment in lieu was always so minimal that it wasn't effective as an option, that the affordable housing wasn't able to basically use it effectively to buy houses. And every developer wanted to just donate, was like 100-something thousand or something, instead of setting.
It was way lower than you could really build an affordable unit.
To market, right. Yeah. So the proposal that last we talked about, and I think was coming back because there were some questions that needed to be answered, was changing it the way it was being set to being basically the median sold single family house over the past time frame. And that's where I think the open questions were, and that we had to iron out before it came back to, before we actually had a full warrant. But given that it's coming back before Zach, I was wondering if we wanted it a placeholder on the warrant, so we could finalize that before town meeting and
Let's
withdraw it if it doesn't.
let's
happy
just let's go through the motions for these 1.5.1 and 1.5.2, and then we'll see if the board wants to try to put a placeholder in for that now. Let's so I think 1.5.1 is pretty self-explanatory. We need to put or we should put an article on our town warrant for the MBTA communities to fix the map, to get it in compliance with over 50% of the land area and one contiguous land mass. So does anyone have any questions? All right. I'd like to entertain a motion that the planning board vote to add a warrant article to amend Article 36, MBTA Communities Multifamily Overlay District, MCMOD bylaw to comply with EOHLC requirements in the 2026 annual town meeting warrant.
So moved.
Thanks, Matthew.
Second.
Thanks, Amna. Roll call vote. Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Parker Hap,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Vika South Prati,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. All right, let's go to 1.5.2. So Whisperway is a neighborhood that got built. It's kind of near, it's off of Wood Street near 495. It came before the planning board, I don't know, 3 years or so, maybe longer ago, 4 years ago. Anyways, they built the street and built all the houses. And so this warrant article is for the street acceptance of Whisperway. Does anyone have any questions for Neary? I don't have any additional background than what I provided. All right, I'd like to entertain a motion that the planning board vote to add a warrant article for the acceptance of Whisperway from Wood Street to end as a public way to the 2026 annual town meeting warrant.
So moved.
Thanks, Matthew.
Second.
Thanks, Parker. Roll call vote. Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Parker Hap,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Vika South Prati,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. All right, now we'll circle back to the payment in lieu question. Do we want to try to get something in? I haven't listened to all been fully up to speed on any Zach conversations about this, so I don't know how close we are to drafting an article. Lucia, go ahead.
I think my question is related to open meeting law. Is it something that we can add if it's not on the agenda?
Oh, good question.
Chair,
Through the
if
chair.
Go ahead. Matthew, why don't you go ahead?
So the agenda item is voting to add zoning articles to the annual town meeting warrant.
Neary, did you have a comment or a thought?
so, as a chair, if you decide to discuss on that, you are allowed to do that, even if it's not mentioned, because it's a part of to add the article on the town meeting warrant.
So you would you'd think we'd be okay to add that,
Yeah,
to talk about it.
we cannot talk in the details, but we can decide if board wants to add that article or not. And then as a planner, I can work with Zach. Anyway, it's gonna be like upcoming schedule meeting next week, and this topic is on the agenda for the Zach meeting.
I think it's something we could do. We could, like I said, we could add this tonight, and literally at our next, like Zach's at their next meeting, they can say we're not close. We need more discussion. I don't know. We need more public comment. We need, I don't know, to get more details of like, I don't know, whatever the conversation can be. We can remove it
Yes.
at our very next meeting if it doesn't look like we should move forward. So I'm good with that if the board is also good with that.
I'm good with that.
All right, I don't have a written motion here, so let me try to craft some. I'd like to entertain a motion to add a town meeting warrant article to address our payment in lieu amount for affordable housing unit construction.
I
Matthew, go ahead.
apologize. Could you repeat that? I cut out for a second.
I don't know if I could.
I move that the planning board vote to add a warrant article to change the calculation for fee in lieu under section 21062 fees in lieu of affordable housing unit provisions to the 2026 annual town meeting warrant.
I'll second that.
All right, sounds good. All right, roll call vote. Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Parker Happ,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Vikasath Prati,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. All right. All right. I don't think this is this isn't a new public hearing, but Zero Lumber Street, REC Hopkins LLC major project site plan review. Is the applicant on?
John
Yeah.
Federico with Gary Road Hellman, and tonight I'm here with Kathy Sherry of REC Hopkinton.
All right. So I think before we go on, I think we had a mix up, at least for some of us, at least me, on the sidewalk. But so I apologize for that. If there, but anyways, we're happy to be here tonight to talk about this project. Before we get going, is there any updates, Aniri, that you would like to provide from your perspective?
We have just a second. We have our peer review consultant Emma on the call from Pear Corporation, and we received her comments on the project, and applicant responded to her comments, changing and revising the site plan as per the comments from Emma. So if she or applicant wants to discuss that. And also just to add, design review board is scheduled for next week for this project to look into the site plan.
Go ahead if you'd like, or unless
I don't
would like to speak first.
I don't. Near 1 second. I don't see the peer review in our folder.
It is there. It's under our Lumber Street Zero folder, and it says response to Pear and Pear peer review letter.
The only folder I'm seeing is MBTA communities, and then
no, that's in the different. So if you click on the link next to the new material from the memo, you will be able to see the comments. I can pull out the letter from Pear.
That's okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yes. Why don't we have our peer review consultant go, well, before we get going, is everything kind of agreed upon at this point with our peer review consultant and the applicant, or where do things stand?
Yes. I haven't responded to the response to comments yet. But I did have, I guess, 4 items. One's a little bit more just CAD layering. So I guess 3 items that I wanted to kind of discuss with them more that I haven't gotten a chance to respond back to them on.
All right. Why don't we go through those here on the call?
Okay. So 2 of them were related to the zoning comments. So my first comment in the original review letter was about the planting between the parking lot and the roadway. So the zoning bylaw states that it needs to be dense growth or a combination of plant materials and landscape features. So it would be between the proposed parking area and Lumber Street. So it's more of a clarification on what would be considered dense. It looks like they're showing 1 tree and some plantings. So I can discuss that with them and with the town in more detail on what would be considered dense for that situation. The second one was related to, so it was my comment number 3 regarding the requirement in Appendix A of the zoning bylaws. Just about the placement of the stormwater management facilities. So I understand where they're saying that that's the optimal location for it, which is within the 60-foot front yard setback. But that doesn't meet the requirements of Appendix A. So then they would need some form of relief to have it located there. And then the other one that I would like to discuss would be my comment number 5 about the sidewalk design. I do have some specific locations that I could send the applicant markups, but I just it would need them to show some additional elevation points along the sidewalk just to confirm that everything's going to be meeting the ADA standards, particularly the stretch from Lumber Street up towards the building, just to show that they're going to be meeting. So it looks like from what I can measure off of the plans, that it would be like a ramp steepness there. So I want to make sure that they have like the level landing areas and everything that would be required to have a stretch that would be that high of a grade.
So with regards to those comments and John Federico with G&H, we did include in our revised plan set an updated layout for the sidewalk connection to Lumber Street with a couple extra spot grades on there. So hopefully that will help address some of your concerns.
Yes.
But yes, if we do need anything else, I'll be more than happy to add in those couple extra for you.
Yes, I did see what you had provided. I can send to Anir to forward along to you some additional elevation points that I'd be looking for, just so that we have enough information to confirm.
That's not a problem there. Regarding the dense growth comment, I know, and the applicant is more than happy to jump in to speak on this as well. But at least directly adjacent to the parking spaces, since we do have our property sign that's going to be located there, or advertisement sign, we didn't want to have anything that was too large in terms of the dense growth, just where it would be blocking the view of that sign. But anything essentially where the sidewalk portion would be, anything behind that sidewalk portion, as much as that area can remain undisturbed, it would be remaining with any existing vegetation there. If that was something that we did have to add in a few extra plantings, we'd be more than happy to work with the town on that end. And then as far as the placement of the stormwater structure goes, I believe that's a question for the rest of the board to further discuss. If we do need to put in a formal request for a waiver there, I'd be more than happy to provide a brief write-up regarding that waiver request and some justification for it, but not sure exactly how the planning board wants to handle that portion.
I think we are going to defer to our peer review consultant for her opinion.
Yes. So in regards to the planting, I would ask more for the town or the planning board to review what they would consider dense if they feel that that's acceptable in relation to the stormwater system. Just because of the grades and that being like the lower point in the property, and to be sure that you're capturing everything that's going to be flowing onto the site before it gets into Lumber Street. I do believe that that's a good location for the stormwater unit. It will be underground, so I'm not. If the intention of the ordinance was that there be no features above ground that you could see, like this at least would be underground, and it's only going into the front yard setback by a few feet. I can measure it off the plan just to confirm, but I mean, to me, that seems reasonable.
Chair.
Go ahead, Parker.
I'm a visual guy. Is there any chance that we could like pull up a map just to show where that dense well it should be? Because if it is in my head, I think one of the comments we had heard in previous meetings is folks wanting to maintain as much of the charm of Lumber Street, I suppose. And there was also concerns of like headlights and stuff, and so I think any screening could help, but I just wanted to visualize where exactly this was, because it could be prudent to consider.
I just requested share privileges. If somebody could grant that, I'll have a plan pulled up for us in 1 second.
Yes, can you, I did accept that.
Okay, great. A moment here. Okay, I believe we have the plan up in front of us right now.
Yes.
This is the site plan sheet here. I can flip over to a drainage sheet if anybody would like. But essentially, I believe the screening comment was regarding this portion right here, where we do have one large tree shown and some lower growing shrubs, just so that we're not fully blocking our proposed signage there. This was the area that I was referring to that will remain as part of as much natural vegetation as possible, just depending on the grading for it. And just so everyone can see the underground utility section, that is located right within this area here. Essentially, these two outer manholes would be the furthest extension of the structure. So to see that in relation to the building setback, I do apologize for jumping around. Those two manholes are referenced here and referenced over here. So that would appear to be protruding into that front setback by about 20 or so feet.
Thank you.
To the chair.
Go ahead, Amna.
Is there anywhere where there's a definition of what dense planting means for us? Because to me, dense planting means trees and shrubs and whatever that you can't see through year round.
I don't know that there, I have not seen a definition. I don't think in our zoning bylaws there is a definition of dense plantings. Aniri, do you happen to know? I don't think there is.
I can check and let you know, but I don't have top of my mind if there's any specific.
I generally agree with you that dense plantings would be cause like something you couldn't see through. And basically something you couldn't see through year round. It doesn't necessarily need to meet, or at best, very, very limited to be able to see through. Anyone else on the board have questions at this point? Lucia, go ahead.
I think in terms of the plantings question from the sidewalk, to Amna's point, it's fair. You can see fairly well through right now because, everything's dead. It's wintertime. And so I think if dense plantings are meant to kind of hide the parking lot better, then I could see the need to add some more plantings, as long as we're not disrupting any of the wetlands in the area.
Thanks, Lucia. So, I'm not sure what we should do at this point. Typically, we'd continue on our agenda once it's agreed upon, like all the final, everything is kind of coordinated between the applicant and our peer review consultant, but it seems like there's some loose ends. So I'm not sure what to do as a next step.
Chair,
Go ahead,
We need-
Neri.
we can continue hearing to the February 9th meeting. If applicant and our peer review can respond back in that time, then February 9 or the next hearing gonna be February 23. So I leave that up to applicant if they want to continue to February 9 or February 23rd. If they need time to answer to the comments, which we discussed tonight.
I believe these comments are relatively minor, so I would have no problem with going to the 9th. However, I will default that to Kathy Sherry on the applicant side for REC. In case
February 9th is preferred, John. February 9th.
Okay.
That's finished.
John or Kathy, do you need any more information from us as a board?
I think we just need some further information on the denseness as far as what you'd like to see there. We're talking about a relatively small area as far as around the proposed kind of a small scale pylon sign, and everything else is being maintained in its as natural state as possible. So we would need the definition of dense, or for the reviewer to come back and tell us we need another tree or something on that idea. And then I'm still not sure, and if this is, we can work it out afterwards, is do we need to request a waiver? I think we even asked this at the site walkthrough about the location of the stormwater system. Because we've responded back to that. That seems to be a your decision as far as if there's any issue with us locating it within that front setback. So those are the two things I feel like we'll need direction on, whether it's from the board or peer review.
Okay, let's go with the stormwater. Isn't this spelled out in our requirements? I guess I'm going to our peer review consultant. Like, it seems like it's either a yes, it needs a waiver, or no, it doesn't. I'm not.
Yes, so in the zoning bylaws, it says that it shall not be located within the required setback areas unless specifically permitted by the planning board.
So then it will require it would require a waiver, correct?
Based on that reading, yes.
Okay.
Okay. We will put in a request for the waiver with the next round. Is that right, John?
Correct. Yes.
And the denseness of plantings,
Because I just want to make sure we're talking about the same area, because it is, and John, if I'm wrong, please correct me. It is simply that little landscape island at the edge of the driveway where the sign is. Is that correct? Is that what we're talking about, as well as Emma? Yes.
To my understanding, it is in this location here, but Emma, please do correct me if I'm wrong on that. And that would
Yes,
be
that
this,
is the location that I was
sign.
looking at.
So we're only talking about that little island of what we need for landscaping there around the pylon sign.
what is the dimensions of that? Like, what is the is that
The
8 by 8 feet? Like, how big is it?
the closest point, it's about 11.9, so let's call it 12 feet just for rounded. So it's about 12 by 18 feet, give or take.
12 by 18 feet. So I would think the denseness of the shrubbery there should prevent like cars backing out from those 5 spots there.
Mhm.
If they're backing out from the spots, have the headlights on, the denseness of that should prevent like really disruption from the person across the street. That's maybe like, yeah, so kind of limit light infiltration from headlights as people back out of those spots, and then to exit out onto Lumber Street.
Okay. So
I
maybe
think
we
like an
can propose,
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Go
maybe
ahead.
we could propose to put another larger tree bordering the parking lot and leaving just what's in front where the small shrubs are sown, so that we do have some visibility with cars coming up Lumber Street. We would like to be able to, for them to see a sign. And then we also want to make sure people pulling out of the driveway, their vision and their sight line is not impeded on the very edge.
That is very important. Yes.
Mhm. Okay.
Anyone on the board have any other anything else? All right, I'm going to continue this till our next meeting. Hearing none. I don't need to extend a decision deadline, right, Aneri? I just need to continue it to our February 9th.
That is correct.
All right, I'd like to entertain a motion to continue our public hearing for 0 Lumber Street to February 9th.
So moved.
Thanks, Matthew.
Second.
Thanks, Vic. Roll call vote. Lucia Lopez.
Yes.
Matthew Ronca.
Yes.
Michael King.
Yes.
Parker Happ.
Yes.
Amna Dewan.
Yes.
Peter Mimo.
Yes.
Vic South Prati.
Yes.
And Rob Benson is a yes. All right. We'll see you on the 9th.
Great. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to open public hearing for 69 Hayward Street.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Parker. Roll call. Lucia Lopez.
Yes.
Matthew Ronca.
Yes.
Michael King.
Yes.
Parker Happ.
Yes.
Amna Dewan.
Yes.
Peter Mimo.
Yes.
Vic South Prati.
Yes.
And Rob Benson is a yes. All right, Aneri, would you like to give us an overview of this situation?
Sure. So I think if I'm not wrong, back in let me just open my pants. Yep, back in June or July, if I'm not wrong, applicant reached out to Board of Appeal for variance permit, and Board of Appeal denied the approval.
What would they looking for a variance for?
So they want to do a new building on the lot, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
They proposed the house, and the board did not agree with the dimension and the setback requirements, what they were requesting at that time. Board of Appeal denied the proposal, and it's not been 2 years, so they are coming to planning board requesting repetitive petition from the planning board side. As the planning board as per the section Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 16, planning board approve or deny the request. And applicant previously mentioned changes to the plan. So in the file, you can see the proposed plot plan with the changes, and old plot plan, which zoning board of appeal denied. We have applicant here on the call if they just want to add anything. This is totally going to be a regulatory reviews, and all 8 board members need to vote if they agree with the repetitive petition request.
So we have
need
to
anonymous.
we have to be unanimous to get this
Yes.
to. Oh.
Yes, since Alicia, she's not here, then we need anonymous vote, as we are 9 board members on our planning board. So as per that, we need 8 votes in a favor for applicant to go back to zoning board before their time period ends, 2-year time period, basically. You if applicant wants to add anything, they are feel free to do that. I can show what Board of Appeal review back in June or July, and what
Yeah, could you put the? Would you be able to share that on the screen? I think for everybody's benefit.
Yes, yes. Okay. So this is the revised plot plan which applicant submitted, and it's dated December 4, 2025. And let me pull the old proposal on the side. And this is their original proposal which Board of Appeal reviewed and denied. Can you see both the plans?
So the in both cases, the house is so the new plan is a 40 by 22 house with what it looks like to be a 40 by 22 house, and the old plan was 40 by 22 along the 22 feet along the back and 30 feet wide along the front.
And 14 feet on the right side of the street from this. So it was like in a L shape when they originally submitted to Board of Appeal. The current proposed plan which they submitted, that is like a straight box house basically.
Do you have details of the Zoning Board of Appeals original commentary? Like what was their thinking? Do we know?
We don't know that. We only have Board of Appeal decision.
Okay. All right. Is the applicant on that's looking to put forward this repetitive petition?
I think they are on if they want to add anything, and I will just point out one thing for a planning board, that our review is gonna be limited, and just to make sure that the justification applicant is providing is sufficient to allow them to refile with CPA. And that's our planning board merit to review this application. I think I'm guessing the applicant is on the call if they want to add anything. If not,
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we are on the call.
Do you want to, are you representing somebody? Are you the landowner? Who are,
Well, I'm Rick Goodrow with United Consultants. We had prepared the plot plan for the applicant, who unfortunately was not able to get on the call today. But we were here to answer any questions that the board may have with respect to the plot plan and the application. I was present at the zoning board hearing. Two of the members of the zoning board had some concerns with regard to the side setbacks. As you can see on the screen, the two plans are, the original plan had the L-shaped building that was described, which had an 8 by 14 foot area to the front right corner of the building. That has now been eliminated. That has allowed for the side setbacks to be increased from 10 feet on the original proposal to 14 feet on the current proposal, where the existing house that was proposed to be demolished had a side setback of 10 feet. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, 11.4 feet. So we've increased the side setback from 11.4 from the existing structure that is located on the property to the 14 feet. And that was, two of the zoning board members were concerned about the side setback. Three of the board members were satisfied with the application, but we did not have the 4-to-1 vote that was necessary to obtain the permit, the variance, excuse me. So as has been pointed out, the process, if the applicant chooses to come back within 2 years, is to come to the planning board and make the case for a repetitive petition and outline what has changed from that point. So the main change is the size of the house and the increase in the side setbacks. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Goodrow. All right. So just so I'm looking at this correctly, these pictures, Aneri, there's an existing house to the left, right? That's like this picture doesn't show the lot lines, does it? I don't see a, go ahead, Michael.
If, Mr. Chairman, would it be possible for me to share my screen and then I could point out some of the features? If that would be helpful?
It'd be helpful to me.
Yeah, I just wanted a point of clarification too. What's I know they need a variance, but what are the setbacks for that area normally?
The setback requirements for the side are 25 feet.
25. Okay.
Mr. Rick, if you want to share your screen, you can just send me the request and I will be able to accept that.
How's that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first question is this dock black line here is a property line. Property is 50 feet across the frontage, 91 feet front to back, 50 feet, 91 feet. Those are the dimensions of the, excuse me, pre-existing non-conforming lot. It was created in and around 1933. Currently, you can see the outline of the existing structure here that is on the lot. And what we're proposing, as you have already figured out, is this 22 by 40 foot box here located on the lot. This current proposal would give 14 feet on each side of the building to the property line. As has been asked, the side setback, current side setback requirement is 25 feet. So the 50 foot dimension would not allow for any structure to be built or reconstructed on the property. So we're looking at a pre-existing non-conforming lot, a lot that was created prior to the adoption of zoning in Hopkinton, which gives us some flexibility under the State Zoning Act to redevelop this property. So that's in a nutshell what the application proposal will be back to the zoning board if this board is so inclined to allow us to do that.
Rick, I'm not following where the existing foundation is. Where's the existing house foundation?
See this line here, back here? That's the edge of the foundation. It sits back up in here.
It's like the faint line in the.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
not straight?
No, there's a bunch of jogs in it.
Okay.
Rob, it's like Maspinock properties. We do things a little unique here in Hopkinton.
All right.
I would imagine there were a series of additions. There's also an outbuilding, I believe a garage type structure located right in here. That will be removed. Actually, both structures would be removed for the construction of the house.
All right. What anyone on the board, do they have any questions or comments or things they want to say?
I did have one question, Rob, because I'm just trying to square the GIS map versus this plan. And it says 50 feet, and there's a big circle around that 50 foot to property line, 50 foot to property line. And when I look at the GIS map for the, property ownership, there's 4 separate parcels that are 100 feet or so in total dimension. So I don't quite understand the map versus what I'm seeing on GIS, and then how the variant or the setback has to do with what exactly, the cumulative of both of those, or I'm just a little confused on that.
Yes, so if I may, Mr. Chairman?
Sure, go ahead.
I'm trying to pull out my assessor's map. So from the GIS map, there's the parcel that we had identified, and again, I don't have it in front of me, so I have it in front of me. I don't have it on the screen, I should say, to describe it. So the property actually contains 4 lots that were roughly 25 feet in width each. 2 of them had frontage on Haywood Street, and then 2 of them were located to the northeast corner, I believe you would call it, the back right corner of the property. There's an additional 2 lots that have one common point, being the corner of the back right corner of what we've shown on the site plan, and what would be the back right corner of 2 lots that were combined 25 feet in width that had frontage on an old dirt road that I don't have a name of on that plan, but the plan of record had that. I believe is Old Town Road, which is not.
Yes, on the rear of the property, that's correct. It's Old Town.
Correct. Old Town. I apologize. It's not labeled on my copy of the assessor's map in the file. So the application is only for the 2 lots out front, as the 2 lots in back are not contiguous with the 2 lots that we're looking for the redevelopment on. If in fact the 4 lots were combined, we would have the requisite 5,000 square feet, 50 feet of frontage, and have the ability to petition the zoning board for a permit under that provision of the zoning act. However, these lots that we're proposing this project on only have a combined area of 4,550 square feet. So we're about 450 square feet short of the ability to be allowed to develop that with the zoning protection afforded under Chapter 48, Section 6. So that's the reason for the variance request.
All right, thank you. Lucy, you had your hand up. But did you still have a question or?
I didn't really have a question. I had more of a comment in looking at the decision from the Zoning Board of Appeals versus what the applicant is bringing forth today. They lay out the 5 applicable zoning requirements, and 2 of them you can't change unless you buy more property, the lot area and the lot frontage. But the lot coverage, the applicant is decreasing from 33% to 30%, I believe. The setback from the street, they're increasing from the original proposal of 26 feet to 27 feet, and what's required is 30. So these are all, not within what's required, but they're improving upon them. And then the side yard width, as he said, is increasing from the proposed 10 feet to now proposed 14 feet. And then in looking at the decision, 3 of the members voted in favor, 2 voted against. They needed a 4th in order for it to pass. I think given that the applicant is coming back with changes to what can be changed, I think it would potentially make sense for the Board of Appeals to look it over again.
All right, thanks, Lucia. Matthew, go ahead.
Thanks. The applicant may have just answered the question, but I was wondering if it went back to the Board of Appeals, under what criteria would the variance be being sought? It sounds like from his answer that the criteria that's being sought is based on not having enough land here. Otherwise, they wouldn't be seeking it. Did I misunderstand?
That is one of the items that we would be seeking relief from. Also, the setback requirements. So there's a protection under Chapter 48, Section 6 for pre-existing non-conforming lots that have 5,000 square feet of area and 50 feet of frontage that have not been held in contiguous ownership with any other lots since the enactment of zoning. So we had looked at that. The one shortfall we have from that is this lot does not have 5,000 square feet, it has 4,550. So we don't have the ability to seek relief under that section. However, we're trying to redevelop this property and, do so. Obviously, we're not going to be able to meet the side setbacks. 25 feet on each side would render 0 area left or 0 distance to redevelop this property. So the basis of the variance request would be for lot area, frontage, obviously, because neither of those meet the current zoning requirements, and then the front and side setbacks will also not meet the current zoning requirements. So we've shifted the house such that it would be 20 feet from the rear setback line where 20 feet is required. And that's how we were able to gain the additional foot towards the front for the 27 feet that we're proposing now as opposed to the 26. So side setbacks, frontage area, and so side setbacks, front setback, frontage, and area, I believe, are the reasons for will be the reasons for a variance request. But again, the side setbacks seem to be an issue with the zoning board during the hearing process, and we've increased those up to 14 feet from the previous application, which was 10 feet.
To the chair.
Go ahead, Amna.
Just commenting on some of the points that have already been made about land availability and the lot size in the house. I mean, it seems to me that the house, this is what I'm understanding, is that the house is just too big for the lot. So wouldn't it just make sense to build a smaller house?
Amna, I think, from my point of view, the reality is, like, without the zoning requirements for this parcel, is a side setback of 25 feet. And if the lot is only 50 feet wide, that basically means they can't, like, they couldn't build a house without a variance. Like there's no making it smaller to,
Okay.
unless I'm mistaken. Aniri, I think you were the first. Aniri, do you have a comment?
I do not have a comment, but I just want to add on to Lucia's point. I don't know, board members get a chance to review the decision from Board of Appeal. Applicant did not just file for variance, they filed for special permit and variance. And one of the variance criteria was because the original house got fired and destroyed back in 2023. And as per our current Hopkinton zoning bylaw, applicant filed for applications within 12 months and they passed the 12-month period. So that is one of the reasons they needed a variance and go through special permit and variance from Board of Appeal. And I mentioned in the memo that building commissioner is not in a favor of allowing this application to go back before they complete the time frame. That's the point I just wanted to let board members know.
So the Hopkinton building commissioner is of the opinion they should have to wait the 2-year time frame.
So his just comment is he's in support of denial for this new.
Parker, go ahead.
Well, now I want clarity on the last point. So why would they want them to wait longer? I don't quite understand the logic behind that. Just because it says in a law, or it says in a bylaw that they have to wait 2 years.
I don't think he specifies. He's in favor of denying the planning board denying this request. He didn't say just to wait. He basically doesn't think the planning board should support this.
Okay, what's happening to the other 3 parcels that are there? Because again, I've since looked at the GIS map again with the ones that was cast through a couple other comments, and there's 3 other parcels. What's happening with those, I suppose, is my question. And why wouldn't there be like an A? You have the answer to that, Aniri?
No, I just want to add for this specific case, for this project, it's gonna be irrelevant. As per planning board jurisdictions, board can review the applicant's documents, what they provided, and decide the specification and revision and all the material changes are sufficient for them to go back to zoning board of appeal. The board cannot talk about the other parcel as per we cannot go in the depth. That's not planning board jurisdiction. That's come under zoning board of appeal, board of appeal basically. So as a planning board rules gonna come and review what applicant provided, what they submitted to ZBA, and what they submitted, what they revised, and if planning board think that it's sufficient for them to go back to board of appeal, then board member can vote. And after planning board 20-day appeal period ends, decision is ready, and then they can file again to Board of Appeals and start the whole process with them. So just want to add that.
Michael, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that the footprint of the house right now is like 800 or 900 square feet. So it's not, like one of those 5,000-6,000 square foot houses that we normally see. This is a modest property, it looks like. So I don't think it's the case that somebody's trying to squeeze, the maximum amount of house for the maximum amount of profit on, a tiny lot. So.
Through the chair.
Go ahead. State your name and address, Mr. Edwards.
Hi, this is Peter Edwards, 21 Cunningham Street. I'm also from Hayden Row Properties. I'm the listing broker for this property. Just to give you a little backstory, I represent the family of the estate who's selling the property. Unfortunately, they did miss that 12-month time period where there would have been a little bit more leeway for rebuild after the fire and unfortunate passing of the parents. And this particular builder, when we put it on the market, we decided to go with specifically just because he has experience building down in the lakefront community. He's built other properties on Downey Street very tastefully, and we think the plan he's put forward fits into the neighborhood very well. He's been, I think if you look and read the meeting minutes, you can see the board was actually very much in favor of his plan. And then at the last minute, some people just pushed back a little bit on some of the side setbacks, which, really aren't that big of a deal when you look at some of the variances that have been given down in the lake community in that area. So I think the plan that he's putting forward would enhance the neighborhood, certainly than what's there right now with, unfortunately, a burnt out house.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. All right. I like things when they're clean, meaning it'd be great if if this had all happened within the 12-month window. It'd be great if there was no need for variances and no need to get, or at least to get the planning board's approval. And none of it is clean from my perspective, which kind of is what it is. But it seems like they could have got some relief if they were able to have filed the necessary paperwork to rebuild after a fire within 12 months. They could have got some relief if the lot was 450 square feet bigger, so not tremendously bigger, but in that space, like it's about 10% bigger. So it's really up to the board. I can put down, if there's no more conversation, why don't I put a motion in and we'll see how people vote?
So the chair.
Go ahead, Amna.
Just sorry, one more question. Thank you for all the clarification. It really does help. But what are the options? If we say yes, it goes back to the Zoning Board of Appeals. And if we say no, then what happens? It stays the way it is?
It stays the way it is, and their course of action is to basically just wait until they can go back to before the Board of Appeals after a time period elapses. Like there's fundamentally, if you go before like the Zoning Board of Appeals and look for relief, a variance, and you don't get it, they don't let you just go back a month later and a month later and a month. You have to, if you get denied, you have to wait 2 years before you can go back to the Board of Appeals, unless you get this. This is the first time this has ever happened since I've been on the planning board, and that's like, I don't know, 6-7 years I've been here. That an applicant has come looking for this type of relief where they can go back to the Zoning Board of Appeals in a shorter window of time. So that's their options. If we give relief, they can go back before the Zoning Board of Appeals. The Zoning Board of Appeals could approve it. They could deny it. They follow their process. If we don't, they're invariably what they would do is most likely wait to maximize the value of that land and try to get the variance at a future date.
Okay, thank you.
Matthew, go ahead.
Thanks. Just there are other options as well. One of the things that came up in the Board of Appeals is that the town borders the land next to them, and there was a suggestion that perhaps they could negotiate with the town to increase the size of their lot by acquiring one of the neighboring plots.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's always a possibility. Parker, go ahead.
Yeah, I think at this point, this is a situation in my mind where doing a land swap or putting this family through, additional steps. Like somebody's parents died in the house, I don't mean to be like overly vitriolic, but this has been, 2 years, and I can't blame them that they didn't get paperwork done in 12 months to want to rectify this for whatever the, gash that it was in their heart that they were going through. And, I think it's an acceptable plan that what they put forth, and I feel like this would give not only just a closure for this family potentially, but also like Hayward Street move on to, and I think we should be in support of it.
All right, thanks, Parker. Aneri, do I need to read the proposed findings here?
I will request you to read so we have on the record.
Okay. This is for everybody that has our agenda. This is section 3.6 of proposed findings, and this is going to lead into ultimately the vote. The planning board has reviewed the revised plot plan dated December 4th, 2025 in comparison with the plot plan previously submitted to the Zoning Board of Appeals dated April 1, 2025. In connection with a request for consent to submit a renewed or repetitive petition pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 16 and 210-147 of the Hopkins zoning bylaw. Based on this comparison, the planning board finds that the relevant materials reflect changes to the site layout and building design, and that determination of whether such changes constitute specific and material changes sufficient to warrant refiling is within the discretion of the planning board. Okay. So I'm going to first read a motion for the entertain a motion for the findings. I'd like to entertain a motion that the board accept and approve the findings as previously read aloud for the request for consent to submit a renewed or repetitive petition to pursuant Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 16 and 210-147 of the Hopkins zoning bylaw.
Moved.
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Lucia Lopez.
Yes.
Matthew Ronca.
Yes.
Michael King.
Yes.
Parker Happ.
Yes.
Amna Dewan.
Yes.
Peter Mimo.
Yes.
Vikasath Prati.
Yes.
And Rob Benson is a yes. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Point of order. Did we just approve the findings? We didn't vote on approval.
No, yeah, we're not done. That's right. Hold on. So 3.8.2 is the approval or denial of the actual application itself. So this is the much more, I'd say, important part. I'd like to entertain a motion that the board grant consent pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 16 and 210-147 of the Hopkins zoning bylaw for Custom Nest Builders Incorporated to submit a renewed or repetitive petition to the Zoning Board of Appeals for the property located at 69 Hayward Street.
So
moved. Oh, I'll second that.
All right. Roll call vote. And so this is the vote that is important, and this needs to be 8-0 for it to pass. Lucia Lopez.
Yes.
Matthew Ronca.
No.
Michael King. Michael. Parker Happ.
Yes.
Amna Dewan.
No.
Peter Mimo.
Yes.
Vikasath Prati.
Yes.
And Rob Benson is a yes. Unfortunately, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I was a yes. I think I froze during that. Sorry.
That's okay. Unfortunately, that this does not pass.
Well, thank you for your time.
All right. Good luck. All right. Moving on.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Parker.
Would like to respectfully ask if we can, within our meeting, do a motion to reconsider.
That's never happened. what's the, I don't know what the,
So the motion that if
No,
the
I know.
majority of
go ahead, Parker.
if the majority of members support reconsideration of the last motion and vote to reopen, that we can reconsider and reopen debate.
I'd like to entertain a motion to reconsider.
Second.
Well, I think, can you move the motion and see if there's a second? I guess as the chair, I don't make the motion, do I?
Well, I just did, but if you could second
Okay.
mine.
No, the chair, point of order, chair can't make or second a motion.
Oh, fair. Didn't know that.
All right, I'll second it. Yeah.
Or somebody else will.
So who moved and who second? Because I'm here.
Parker moved and Peter second, I believe.
Discussion. Does anybody feel we should reconsider?
Hey, we spoke. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Peter.
Where I'm at, and where I'm a little bit sort of, I'm trying to understand what precisely is what are we gaining as a community by denying this, other than I suppose elevating form over substance. I'm trying to understand precisely the policy or the sort of the merits behind denying this particular.
What are we discussing? The motion to reconsider? Or are we discussing the previous motion?
I thought we were discussing the previous motion. My bad.
We haven't voted on the motion on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, we're discussing the motion itself.
Whether
We got a first and
reconsider.
second. We got a discussion if the motion, if this is a worth, like people's opinion on the motion, and then we can vote on whether we open it for open it for discussion. I guess whether we're going to actually reconsider.
Okay.
Is there any go ahead, Matthew.
I'm fine with reopening discussion if people want to rediscuss it.
Anyone else have any comments?
Would you like to discuss this?
Huh?
I would certainly appreciate a chance for us to rediscuss this.
All right, let me make a motion to. What is even the motion? A
The
motion,
motion was to reconsider. There's already a motion. There's a second. We were debating the.
All right, so
motion.
vote. Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Parker Hap,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Vic Kasath Prati,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. Now we can discuss the what's at hand.
Through the chair.
Mr.
Before you guys start a little discussion, can I just add a couple more things here?
Sure.
Just to give you a little bit of context back about the plan that he's proposed. I mean, we're talking, Rick, correct me if I'm wrong, but the house plan we're talking about is like 1,800 square feet, probably even smaller. So we're not building a mansion down by the lake here. We're replacing a house that burned down with a small house to improve the neighborhood. And we're pushing back on 2-3 feet here or there, which is just absolutely asinine. So I would really, really ask the board to reconsider to help this family move along, because if you deny this, it's basically going to really put them in a bad spot for a long period of time. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Edwards. Go ahead, Matthew.
So my concern is mostly with the process here and looking at the same guidelines that the Board of Appeals had to work with in July or whenever they voted on this, where there's explicit context under which they're allowed to consider the variance. And one of the things that was raised again was the size of the property here, which isn't eligible for that. So what I'm struggling to see is if we send it back to the Board of Appeals, are they going to see this as materially different, which is what we're being asked to vote upon here? And would it significantly change their opinion based on the previous debate and discussion that they had?
Thank you, Matthew. Lucia, go ahead.
I think in response to what Matt's saying, the lakefront district as well as the downtown business district has there are a lot of homes that anytime you want to do anything to it have to go before the zoning board of appeals because they do not meet the requirements that the town has now in terms of the lot size. So if a lot of those homes had been built under the current requirements, they wouldn't have been built because they wouldn't meet those requirements. And I think the difference in this case is that there was a pre-existing home that burned down. They did not meet the 12-month window, but they are coming back, changing what they can, given that if you look at GIS and you look at that district, there are a lot of lots that are that small or smaller that have houses on them. And so I think that's something that the Board of Appeals is used to looking at. And maybe it's the fact that 3 voted in favor and 2 voted against makes me think that maybe the house that they wanted to build was just a little bit too big. You know, that maybe the setbacks that they had then, the lot coverage was a little bit too big, and coming back with something that's smaller might change 1 or 2 people's minds who voted against it. I don't know that they will, but I think that they changed what they could beyond, purchasing more land.
Matthew, go ahead.
Does the Board of Appeals not have an option to continue their hearings, that this could have come back with an alternative layout?
I believe they do. Yes, as far to my knowledge, they do. They do have the ability to continue a hearing, ask for changes.
So if there's a small change like this, I just don't understand why this wouldn't have been handled through the previous hearing rather than refiling later or asking to reopen it.
I don't know that answer. Mr. Goudreau, do you know, was it why?
The Board of Appeals chose to close the public hearing. That was carried forward, and then they went into a vote, and we were somewhat surprised at the results of the vote. It was not asked of us, directly to make significant changes or any changes being outlined to us.
Yes, they just considered the proposal. They allowed for discussion. They allowed for input, and then they closed the public hearing, and then they considered so they didn't ask to what if you made it slightly smaller. They reviewed the house
plan as is.
Plan as is. Yep. Matthew, go ahead.
So if I remember, the original suggestion is a 20% increase in size. What's the current size of the new proposal versus the original one? Or what's the suggested new size? I think the old one was 933 or something.
I'm not following. New size of what?
The proposed size of the new house. Because the old one I think was 933.
The footprint of the lot, is that what you're asking?
No,
the square footage
of the building. Yeah.
I don't have the revised building plans, unfortunately, but the footprint is 22 by 40, so that's 880
square feet.
Square feet.
What was the foundation of do you know the approximate square footage of the foundation that was there?
Look and see if I have the field card, if that would have it. Bear with me for just a minute.
According to Zillow, it said 565 square feet. I don't know how accurate that is.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Lucia, go ahead.
I wonder, I mean, I'm not sure why Matt is asking that question specifically, but I wonder if what would be more relevant to look at would be the lot coverage, because in the letter, in the decision, it says the maximum allowed in that district is 25%, and their previous proposal had a lot coverage of 33%, and I think the current proposal is down to 30%. So I don't know if that addresses why Matt is asking for square footage.
Well, that's why I was asking the square foot. I knew the building that was there was, it was single family. I mean, a single level. So if this is going to be 40 by 22, what is that? 880 square foot foundation versus what was a 565 square foot foundation. Did I do that math right? 40 by 22. All right. Anyone want to make any other points?
Elise joined the meeting, just a heads up, it looks like. And I think that, yeah, if we can, at the end of the day, find a resolution for these folks. Like I said before, this is, bigger than process or procedure or, lot coverage. This is a family that had a significant loss, and this helps them move on, and I don't think that the plan we're seeing here demonstrably changes the charm nor the, overall oddity that is sometimes Lake Maspinock zoning. Like we had to go to town meeting a couple of years ago, and there was a old lady that wanted to sell her house, and the town had to, work to give her a lot. And it's just the nature of this area of town and how it's organically evolved. There's kind of weird stuff that happens, over here.
It's also very common in Hopkinton. My neighbor's house was built for zoning, so they're literally like right on our property line. It's very common in this town to have lots like this.
Matthew, 1 second, Matthew. Aneri, this is uncharted like I don't, with Elise joining as we're kind of reconsidering this, and we're going to eventually move to a vote again. Is Elise, should Elise be allowed to vote, or?
She joined the meeting at 8:47 p.m. At the moment, she cannot vote unless until board wants to explain everything from beginning to her, and she is aware of the whole case, what board discussed tonight, specifically to this case. And we did motion and approval once, and then we reopened the hearing, motion to discuss again. We need to do a whole thing. So for the specific, she cannot join because she was not here during the discussion, the previous discussion, or during the finding voting, or the previous approval denial voting. Unless until board wants to explain everything to her and do voting again.
Lucia, go ahead.
If I understand Aneri's notes correctly, we would need 8 yes votes regardless, right? So if 9 members voted, does it still need to be unanimous? Would we still need all 9 to vote yes, or we would need 8 to vote yes?
8 to vote yes.
Okay. So I think if my suggestion would be that perhaps we could continue this to the next meeting, and that would potentially allow for Elise to then weigh in.
The only thing I'm not sure, since we already once did motion to findings and once motion to denial, so it's up to chair to decide because we reopened the discussion. So if
Well,
everybody wants
we haven't
wants to
closed,
continue
from my point of view, we haven't closed the hearing.
hearing. So yeah.
Like once we reopen for consideration, we have to vote one way or another. We can't just
Yeah.
like, so I look at the way I'm considering it, and I don't know all like every detail of the rules of like what is it called, the process we yeah, I don't know every rule of that, but as far as I'm concerned, it's we're gonna have to vote again. It's open. Like that vote we took previously, very telling, but it's not doesn't now it's kind of null and void because we're going to be voting again. Aneri, go ahead.
Again, I will just point out one thing, as I said earlier, that planning board only have limited view on this matter and only allow the justification what on applicant submitted. We cannot go in the depth of zoning requirements and all the setbacks and everything. That's gonna come under Board of Appeal, and they needs to review that during that hearing. So the planning board just to need determine that what the new updated plot plan which applicant submitted, if board considering that it's sufficient for them to go back to zoning Board of Appeal, then board in approval. If board thinks that no, then board deny it. As a planning board authority on this matter is limited. Just wanted to add.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't I give an up, like basically in words where we are for Elise's benefit. I think to get the full context, I think Lucia, she to your point, I think she would need to watch the video, or at least hear the conversation, because it's not realistic to say exactly what everyone said verbatim back again. But Elise, can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you. And I was
right.
fully planning on watching the video.
All right, so this is for your benefit. So we've had a situation I haven't come across since I've been on the board. There, item 3 in our agenda was a repetitive petition. So the applicant put forward a plan, a house plan on a lot in near Lake Maspinock. The zoning board, and this was in June of 2025. The zoning board of appeals basically allowed for public comment to for the applicant to say what they wanted to do. Then they closed public comment, and then they had a discussion and basically denied the application because it was a 3-2 vote. 3 people said yes, 2 people said no on the Board of Appeals, and you need a 4-1 vote. And the general discussion was they didn't like the setback distances on the side yards. And I don't know much more details than that. So anyways, we had the situation with the homeowner. There's a few things that are unique. They could have got relief and not have to go through this process. There was a fire that burnt down the house on this property, but they didn't go through the whatever paperwork or whatever they needed to do to rebuild within 12 months. So this has forced them to require variances through the zoning board of appeal. And secondarily, the lot itself is 4,550 square feet. So if the lot was 5,000 square feet, they'd also have relief to not do this process. But both of those don't allow it. So they had to go to the zoning board of appeals. Their house they proposed was kind of an L-shaped house. The zoning board of appeals didn't like it from the setbacks in the side yard. So now they've come before us to look for basically repetitive relief, meaning they want the planning board to say, hey, we can go back to the zoning board of appeals to look for a variance to allow us to build a home in less than 2 years' time. So there's a rule that the zoning board of appeals can't allow or doesn't allow people to keep coming back time and every week a new proposal of the same property. They have to wait 2 years if they get denied. So if the planning board can grant them this relief, that they can go back to the zoning board of appeals in less than 2 years time frame. And that's what this discussion was. We had this discussion, we got to a vote, and the vote was 7-2. 7 said yes, 2 said no, to allow this relief. And then after that, we needed all 8 people. So it needs to be at least 8 votes in favor of yes. So after that, Parker asked for reconsideration. Another thing that I've never had occur on the planning board. So reconsideration. So we opened it for reconsideration, which in my opinion wipes out that previous vote. And now we've had discussion, and somewhere in that process you joined the call. And I think we need to continue this to our next meeting, allow you to watch the video. And if all 9 members join, we would need 8 votes yes in our next meeting to move forward. Or if we get if we get 2 or more to say no, or 8, if we don't get 8 people to say yes, then the applicant was gonna have to find another path forward. Does anyone on the board have any strong objections to that plan, that we follow this? We continue to next meeting. We allow Elise to watch the video, and then we vote. All right.
So do we have a motion on the floor, though? Is that the problem?
No, I don't think so. We had a motion to reconsider, and that got voted yes. Nobody's made a motion to like vote again yet.
I was trying to recall if that's an active motion then. I think that's what you had said earlier.
It's not, because we're still reconsidering it, and I was doing some research, Rob. There's this principle called sign D as part of Robert's Rules of Order. It's Latin, which basically means as long as a multi-meeting session does not expire or is not adjourned, and because we saw the public hearing has not been adjourned, then your law is sound according to Robert's Rules of Order. So I think what you said is great, and we'll take this up the next meeting.
Just to be specific, we don't follow Roberts, though, but
What do we follow?
will of the board.
Aniri, go ahead.
So I just checked on Mass General Law to make sure, since the board voted to reopen the discussion, the original vote may no longer be final. And after we reopen, it does not automatically grant voting rights for the new vote also. So for Alicia, she cannot vote tonight, but if board continue the hearing and she watch tonight's hearing, and then she can participate in the next hearing for this matter.
Thanks, Neri. So I think we're all in good standing that this is all appropriate. I think it's the will, like Matthew said, I think it's the will of the board. If somebody really feels strongly it's not the appropriate process, we can do something else.
Motion to continue the public hearing.
Does the applicant, I'm through the board, does the applicant concur?
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. All right, so Parker, can I revise your
Yes,
motion?
I accept a friendly amendment. Absolutely.
I'd like to entertain a motion to continue the public hearing for repetitive relief for 69 Hayward Street to February 9th, 2026.
So
Second.
All right, roll call vote. Elise Mayalowski,
Yes, and thank you.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Parker Happ,
yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Vikasath Prati,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. All right. Thank you. And we will take this topic up again next week. At this time, this is the last. That's the last thing on our agenda for this evening. So I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn for this evening, and I'll see everybody on February 9th.
So moved.
Is that move?
Sorry.
Second.
All right, Michael with the motion, and I'm going to give Matthew the second. Roll call vote. Elise Mayalowski,
Yes.
Lucia Lopez,
Yes.
Matthew Ronca,
Yes.
Michael King,
Yes.
Parker Happ,
Yes.
Amna Dewan,
Yes.
Peter Mimo,
Yes.
Vikasath Prati,
Yes.
and Rob Benson is a yes. All right, thanks everybody. Difficult conversation, or but I think giving it some extra thought is good. All right, I'll see everybody in 2 weeks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.